Don't. Okay, wait, hold on. That scares the f***ing bejesus out of me. Friends and folks, welcome to the Kaiju Lounge. I'm your boss, Monster Noah Waterman, and just yesterday, I dropped a video talking about all my thoughts about the PS VR2 and the overall VR ecosystem. And I, had some time to think about it, to give it a little more piece, not just the general train of thought, but like to really ease in and be like, is this truly what I believe? And as I thought about it, I realized, yes, I'm fully in the right. My opinions remain unchanged, but I didn't really talk much about the games yesterday. So we're gonna go ahead, park our asses down, fire up the projector, and come on in to the trailer park. Before we get started, guys, if you haven't already, be sure to like this video as it makes sure to beat the algorithm and let this small, humble content creator reach as many people as possible. All right, guys, let's dive in. This first one is the Dark Pictures Switchback VR. This is the announced trailer for the Dark Pictures, best known for Until Dawn and all the really big interactive playable horror movies that have been coming out recently. This one seems a little different, a little more out there. Let's go ahead and run this guy. All right. Yes, Until Dawn, Rush of Blood, Supermassive Games. VR, it's a roller coaster game. I mean, yes, no, on-rails shooter for VR makes a lot of sense. I'm a little like, I don't know, this feels so much more high energy than what Supermassive is known for, which is giving me pause. It looks spooky, which means I won't play it, but all right. Yeah, this is definitely more like Doom than I would think for a Supermassive game. Jeez. Okay. Don't. Okay, wait, hold on. I wanna backtrack for a second on that. So this I heard about because apparently one of the cameras that detect your eyes and do a lot of the really cool stuff there in this particular game recognizes when you blink. And so there are enemies in this game that get closer to you as you blink. That scares the f***ing bejesus out of me. Like, holy crap, that is not my cup of tea. Let's rewind that real fast. Yeah, don't blink. Yeah, no, thank you. No, thank you. That sounds frightening. Like, if it wasn't a horror thing, I'd be kind of into it. If it's a little more like action, less horror, more action, or even like goofy. Why? Why was that necessary? All right, this next one is Hello Neighbor. Hello Neighbor VR, so it's just Hello Neighbor, but in the new VR. Another game, like a lot of things, kind of freaks me out. I don't even like walking through my own apartment at night. Like, though this is like the right idea. Also makes me think, what would be good? Was that game by Bethesda? No, I know it's Xbox, so it's not going to happen for PSVR. But Grounded. I feel like Grounded in VR would be something I'd be into. It's all this. It's all this, right? It's just jump scares and freaking people out. Nah. Though in general, I like the more cute aesthetic of doing this game. Yeah, I mean, this feels like a no-brainer. Which is good, because honestly, outside of Horizon Call of the Mountain, which we're not getting into because that's already been announced a while back. Search and Rescue. Okay, yeah, that seemed, I dug that. That seemed interesting. Again, I mean, I feel like kind of like when I tried to play Phasmophobia and couldn't get myself out of the tutorial that I know I can't die in. There's just like maybe it's just my general anxiety, but it's just kind of where I stand on these things. But we're gonna go into the next one. This one seems a little more the action focus, less on the horror stuff. Because we started off with two. I don't know. Hello Neighbor is not horror, but it's jump scary in a way. But we are going to get into Pistol Whip for the PS VR2. I hear Pistol Whip, and the first thing I'm thinking is super hot, but it's probably not that. All right, not gameplay. I like that she's fighting the Just Dance dancers. All right, yeah. Is the aforementioned Pistol Whip? So is it an endless runner shooting game? Because I don't see a lot of moving backwards. I see just kind of a one direction thing. Which would be an interesting gimmick to what is already kind of... This also is like, I'm getting dizzy just watching this thing. Haptics. Yeah, seems neat. Seems neat enough. Cosmonious High. Now this is probably my speed. Yeah. Basically Cartoon Network.
Your attendance here is momentous. Now is the time.
Like the art style, yes.
Warning! The cafe has been commandeered by students.
Kind of a rule of like just with everything you can.
This powers thing.
Something strange is happening at Cosmo High, and the new kid and I will find out what.
And there's a story to it, so it's not... That's interesting. I'd check that out. I'd have fun with that. That seems like enjoyable. I don't know. I'm 38 years old. I'm allowed to enjoy cartoons still. It's 2022. Almost 2023. I'm in my midlife crisis. Let me enjoy all the young things again. All right, so this next one is Cities VR. I haven't played any of the Cities games. Let's check this out. Cities VR. Yeah. Okay. Right. So it's SimCity for the modern age. It's probably a little more dumbed down than old SimCity because that wasn't easy. And they're dumbed down not in a bad way, though. The problem is managing menus in VR always seems like that level of precision is not as strong as I want it to be. Or maybe I'm just, because it's always a tiny pointer, I'm just hoping that I get it right in the center. This is neat. I love getting down on the ground view though. Yeah, this is like Sony's answer to Flight Simulator. I feel like, you know, Flight Simulator is like great in the VR. That one I've done a very small little bit about. I don't know. That's neat. Again, if it was like a free demo or something, I'd be all in for it. I just don't know I'd spend the money on it. Next, the Light Brigade.
Half a league.
Half a league. Half a league. Okay. League is in a distance, not as a... Oh. Not what I was expecting. I did not expect, again, another first-person shooter. Can we put up a first-person shooter count somewhere in the corner? Just get that going. My theory is if it's first person and it's got guns, got actual guns, it is a first-person shooter. Okay.
Road the 600.
It's like fantasy with World War II guns. The Light Brigade. I'm getting like blasphemous vibes from it, but that doesn't seem right. I don't know. Like nothing I've seen so far is a must buy for the PSVR. Like I'm not drawn to any of these, and part of that is because I'm not a first-person shooter guy. I'm not a horror guy. I think I mentioned that in the last video. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's enough creative people in the world that people can start coming up with a wider breadth of options. You'd think PlayStation would try to invest in a wider breadth of people for their system, because there are more VR games out there. We'll see. Next game. After the Fall. Hit another one on the counter. Got it.
A frozen dystopian Los Angeles. So in the game you fight the snow.
Right, so that's kind of cool.
After a fall, they come in huge numbers.
My favorite enemy in After Fall, I would have to say, the Smasher. He has like a big frozen arm.
I mean, honestly, a Left 4 Dead would be a fun VR game.
Like this, and then you like, oh, I quickly need to get away.
All kinds of enemies that you can take down. And the goal of that is
there's also that whole idea of, all right, we're going to put all our enemies in classifications and then have the characters shout it out regularly so that we have it in our head. That's what they're called.
So the guns can be upgraded with a lot of,
because I'm in the middle of a battlefield, I'm not going to start yelling Smasher. I'd either have a more specific name for it, or I'm just going to say fucking A, one of the big ones.
Or both. It can either like be something that fires missiles. We have this really cool saw blade device that throws saw blades. We've got one where you punch and there's this massive shockwave.
Firing weapons in After the Fall.
Those weapons do look fun, I won't lie.
Meaty, we use haptics.
I love chunky and meaty.
To reinforce the player every movement that they're doing. But that is
I'm nothing if not chunky and meaty.
Audio as well as the visuals.
The PS VR2 supports this headset rumble feature, and
headset rumble. Forgot about that.
We use it when this big juggernaut, he grabs you and he hits you. You really feel the head vibration.
Yeah, I
really feel like
love the idea of feeling myself getting hit.
So whenever I actually do pull that mag, slap the next one home. And
I think if you die in VR, you die in real life. Isn't that right?
I feel that in my hands.
All right.
Since its initial launch, After Fall has
like the haptic thing for like reloading is always kind of a cool idea.
New maps, new weapons, and every time we had more players joining the fray. And if you're a new player jumping in on After a Fall, then there is an established community just ready to join you and help.
What is the big group between indie and AAA? It's like this is like AA. All right, Crossfire Sierra Squad. That's this next one by Smilegate Entertainment. Yeah, there we go. First person shooter, mark it on the counter. Right. It's After the Fall without snow. Yeah. What do you mean you want Call of Duty? We've got Call of Duty at home. Right. I mean, look, this does fill the need, and it's just great because, let's be honest, that game is big. But this is not Call of Duty, Call of Duty. Yeah, all right. You can't get mad at that. Oh, I like being able to signal too. I mean, here's where I think the money is that people are getting, which is great, is VR multiplayer is so cool. Dude. What? Yeah, like, I'm sorry. If you can't get Activision Blizzard, here's something for you. Is it too soon? Is it too soon? Is Sony still hurting by that one? Let's keep moving. I think this is actually our last one. This is Tentacular, a game practically made for DeviantArt. No, this seems much cuter than that. Fantasy violence and comic mischief. That's honestly all I'm looking for. If I see that in a game, I'm into it.
A docile
La Calma.
that harbors one of the most rare forms of life on our beautiful planet. A creature the islanders call the monster.
Oh, yes.
The fearful asymmetry of the purple appendages hides an incomprehensible strength.
I don't need to tell you, this is probably the most for me game on this grouping.
Of something else. Pleasure in the joy of
Just
glorious physics.
a sandbox chaos physics game where you're a giant monster. Sign me the up.
Many have befriended the creature. Friendship, it
Good morning to you.
is possible, even between the most unlikely of organisms.
I like they talk to you.
Perhaps we deem things monstrous because they remind us of the monstrous parts of ourselves. This Tentacular island shows us how much common ground all living things share.
Ew.
We all seek a greater understanding of our world.
Why do you intake from your own body?
Come from.
That looks fun. That looks like a blast. So that's just about everything I think it was shown for the PSVR. Nothing speaks out to me as a must-have. And that's funny because I think about what you could do with this. And maybe they need more time, or I wouldn't be surprised we start seeing things like Borderlands 3 for VR. But I think the adoption needs to be there first. And that was kind of the point I was trying to make, maybe a little incoherently in the other video. But the point I was trying to make is that, like, in order to get the games we really want, there needs to be people willing to buy it. So people start making the games we want for it, but in order to make the games we want for it, people have to own it. It's that weird catch-22, and we're just not there. Not enough for you to slap on that huge of a price tag. Again, $550 on its own, but you also will need to have bought the PlayStation 5. So like, this is really only for people who've already bought the PlayStation 5, got it and paid for it somewhat, long enough ago that they're not feeling the pain of having already spent $400 to $500. You can't call this a $550 peripheral. This is at minimum $950 console. Right? We'll see. We'll see, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. I want to hear from you. Drop it in the comments below. What was your favorite video of the bunch? What game, if any, are you most excited for? And if not, and it's really just Horizon Call of the Mountain, is that enough for you to buy the PSVR? I'd love to hear that. In the meantime, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It costs you absolutely nothing but a couple of clicks. And if you enjoyed it, then that means you are more likely to get more of these in the future. And more of all this snark, all this beauty, all this max headroom-like poise. Until next time, thank you guys for watching. Stay cool, stay hip, stay heavy.